Ciao amici, welcome back to Learn Italian for Travel. Sono Danielle. Come state oggi? Tutto bene? Benissimo. Welcome to my peace nook. Pace. Today's lesson is going to be on interrogative words. So who, what, when, where, why, how much, and how, and which. So if you've been studying Italian for a while, you know that there's no do or does in Italian. So when you're formulating a question, you don't need to add that word. You can simply take any statement and turn it into a question just by adding inflection. So the do and does is part of the verb conjugation. You don't need to add it. Per esempio, if I say, mangi la pizza, that means you are eating pizza, you eat pizza, or you do eat pizza in general. So if I want to turn that into a question, all I need to do is add inflection at the end. And it will sound like this. Mangi la pizza? Mangi la pizza means do you eat pizza? Are you eating pizza? So simple, easier in Italian than in English. So now we're going to talk about the actual interrogative words that you can add to the sentence to form questions without just using inflection, like I said before. So we're going to start with the word for who, and that is chi. Chi, remember in Italian, when the C is followed by an H, it sounds like a K, and the I always sounds like E, so chi, not chi, okay? Chi might be the most complicated of the interrogative words, and I'll explain why in a minute. So think about how we use who in English. Most of the time you're using it with the third person singular conjugation in English, right? So you might be asking who is coming to the party, or who is speaking, or who is dancing, something like that. That's all the third person singular conjugation. So it's the same in Italian. Most of the time when you use chi, you're going to be referring to the third, you're going to be using the third person singular, the lui, lei conjugation of the verb. So chi parla, who is speaking. Chi balla, who is dancing. Chi viene alla festa. Chi viene alla festa, who is coming to the party, right? Well, if you use the verb essere in English and in Italian, you can also use the plural form, the loro, they conjugation of the verb. So I might ask, chi è questa ragazza? Chi è questa ragazza? Who is this girl? So that's in the singular form. And in the plural form, it works as well. So I might say, chi sono quegli studenti? Chi sono quegli studenti? Who are those students? And it's the same thing, like I said, in English. So here's where it's a little bit different now between English and Italian. And so you're going to have to modify a little bit when you form these questions with chi. In English, we say, for example, who are you talking to? Okay, so now we can change the subject of the verb. It's not just that lui, lei conjugation. Who are you talking to? In Italian, what you are going to have to do is you're going to have to put a preposition, a simple preposition in front of chi. And then that's going to allow you to form questions where you're addressing other subjects. So you don't say chi parli con. That doesn't make sense. You have to say con chi parli. Con chi parli is with whom are you talking? With whom are you speaking? And you can change the subject of the verb, the conjugation of the verb. You can ask who are they talking to, but you're still going to use that preposition con in front of chi. Con chi parlano? Con chi parlano? With whom are they speaking? So let's go through all the prepositions that we can use with chi. You can say, in English, you might say, who is this present for? And again, in Italian, don't put that for preposition per at the end of the sentence. Put it in the beginning in front of chi. So you would say, per chi è questo regalo? Per chi è questo regalo? For whom is this present? Va bene? Another example with the preposition a. You might use it to say to whom something is happening. Per esempio, who is the teacher teaching? Okay? You would say in Italian, a chi insegna il professore? A chi insegna il professore? Or la professoressa, if it's a female professor, okay? To whom is the professor teaching? Keep it in the beginning in front of chi. And then the last one that you're going to use, the last preposition you will use with chi in forming questions is the preposition di. So when you want to talk about possession, you use di, okay? So in English, we use the apostrophe S. Like I would say, Gina's book, okay? In Italian, there's no apostrophe S. You would say, il libro di Gina. And the di means that it belongs to her. So I might ask, if I want to ask whose book is that, I would use di. Di chi è il libro? Di chi è il libro? And then we would answer è di Gina, and that means it belongs to her. Va bene? Tutto a posto? That was a lot of information. You can watch it again if you need to. Ok, andiamo alla prossima. So the next interrogative word we're going to do is the word for what. There are three ways to say what in Italian. You can say che, you can say cosa, or you can say che cosa. It doesn't matter which one you use. It's just really preference, whatever you prefer. So if I want to ask you what you're doing, I would say che fai? Che fai? Or I could say che cosa fai? Or I could say cosa fai? Any of them work. So an interesting thing to note here is that you can use che, the expression che, which just like chi, there's an H following the C, so it sounds like a k sound. You can use it when you follow it with an adjective to say how, whatever. Per esempio, if I said che bello, then I would be saying how beautiful. And that's a very common exclamation that Italians will use, saying how beautiful, che bello. I could say also that something is fun. I could say che divertente. Che divertente. Okay? How fun. Something might be bad. Che brutto. How bad. That stinks. Okay? So that translation is actually to how, not what. But when you follow che with a noun, then it translates to what. Per esempio, if you want to say what joy, you would say che gioia. Gioia is a noun. If you're saying che triste, that's how sad. If you say che tristezza, you're saying what sadness. And both of them mean the same thing pretty much. It's just that one is a noun and one is an adjective. And in English, the translation is a little bit different. Okay? Allora, numero 3 is the word for how. It's come. Come, you've probably heard, as you've been studying Italian, those are some of the first phrases that you learn, is come stai? Or if you're saying it in a formal way to somebody that you don't know, come sta? How are you doing? Okay, and I'm not going to get into the responses in this video. I have a video on greetings, and you can listen to those responses in that video. You also have probably heard when you're asking somebody's name, you use come. So the question is, come ti chiami? Or if it's the formal form, come si chiama? So in English, we say, what is your name? But in Italian, you don't use the word for what, you use the word for how. And so you're asking, how do you call yourself? That's what is coming out there. Va bene? Okay. Poi, numero 4 is the word for where. Where is dove. Dove is used all the time when you're traveling because you're trying to figure out where things are. You might have heard the question asking, where are you from? Di dove sei? Or if it's formal, di dove lei? And you would answer, sono di Chico. Dove means where, and the accent is on the O. And you can also modify dove to form another word that means where is, and it sort of looks like it might sound the same, but the accent's different, and then it means something different. So the word for is, remember, from essere is e with an accent over it. So you can cut off that final e of dove and put an apostrophe and attach the e with the accent is, and now the word sounds like dove. So when you're asking questions to get around town, that's what you're going to be using, not dove. Dov'è la stazione? Where is the station? Or if something is plural, dove sono? Maybe you're at the market. Dove sono I pomodori? Dove sono? Because where are? Okay? Benissimo, andiamo avanti. The next interrogative is how to ask when, and it's quando. So you've probably noticed when you've been studying Italian, if you speak Spanish, there are many cognates, many similar words, many of them quando in Spanish, quando in Italian, they sound the same, they're just spelled differently. So when. So quando, you might ask your friend, quando vai in Italia? Quando vai in Italia? When are you going to Italy? If you're asking about something that's happening more at a specific time, you're probably going to use a che ora. A che ora apre il museo? At what time does the museum open? And then you would say apre alle 3 del pomeriggio. It opens at 3 in the afternoon. So quando used more for in general time frames when things are happening. A che ora for more specific times. And I do have a video on a che ora. Okay, la prossima parola is how to ask why. And the word is perché. Perché. There's an accent on the E and it goes the other way than the accent falls on the E that we just saw in the word is. And so when we say dove, dove is more open, perché is more closed, perché. Okay, so it's a slight difference there. In the pronunciation, and perché also means because. So you ask it in the question and then you use it in the answer. Perché studi italiano? Perché è una bellissima lingua. Why do you study Italian? Because it's a beautiful language, right? Sì, giusto. Ok, poi abbiamo la prossima, okay, numero 9, this is number 9 out of the 10, is quanto. Quanto means how much, or it can be plural, and then it can mean how many. So with all of these interrogative words that we've seen up until now, you're never going to change them. Dove is always dove, unless you add that E with the accent to change the word to where is. Come is always come. Che cosa, che, quando, okay? But with quanto, and then the one we're going to see after quanto, quale, they do change based on gender and number of nouns that follow them. So the most popular way to use quanto, probably, when you're traveling, is asking how much things cost. So you would say, quanto costa? Quanto costa la borsa? How much does the bag cost? And quanto in that context with the costa following it, the verb, is always going to be quanto. But when you start asking how many and modifying it with different nouns, then the ending of quanto is going to change to agree with the noun that you're talking about. Per esempio, quanti studenti ci sono in questa classe? Quanti studenti ci sono in questa classe? How many students are in this class? The quanti agrees with studenti. There's a noun for people that's interesting. It's la gente. La gente refers to people plural, but the noun is actually singular. So you could say, if you're asking how many people are there, and you're using gente, not persone, because you can also use persone, and that is plural, you would change quanto to agree with gente. So you would say, quanta gente c'è? And it sounds kind of funny to us because we're saying how much people, which we think of plural, is there, not are there, right? Quanta gente c'è? C'è molta gente. There's a lot of people. Va bene? Ok. E l'ultima parola, l'ultimo interrogativo is quale. Quale means which. Which, not like the kind that flies on a broomstick, but which, like which one is that? Okay? And it's quale or quali if the noun is plural. So any singular noun that follows quale, whether it's feminine or masculine, it's just going to end in that E form. Per esempio, quale casa è la tua? Quale casa è la tua? Which house is yours? But if you change the noun to a plural form, then you're going to change quale to quali. So I might ask you, we're out shopping, which shoes are you going to buy? Quali scarpe compri? Quali scarpe compri? Ok? Benissimo, abbiamo finito con questa lezione. And I just want to say in the end here, thank you all for all of your positive comments that you always leave on my YouTube channel and the kind emails that you always write to me. It just gives me the fuel to keep doing these videos. I don't make very much money, hardly anything doing these videos. And so it is the thing, inspires me to make a new one. It's for you because you've told me that these significantly have helped you in various ways. So grazie mille. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So continuate a studiare e ci vediamo presto. Ciao!